I'm just going to represent what everybody at my table came up with. I was just the facilitator. Growing economy in general is tasked with three main things. That's increasing the number of jobs overall, increasing the employment rate in the city, and also bringing in tourists to the city. This group, by the way, was the most entertaining so far. They kind of went rogue a little bit, and I actually really appreciated that. So I'm going to try to capture their feedback in particular. In terms of the performance measures, the group overall sort of felt that perhaps these weren't very meaningful to city residents. They were often questioning whether or not arts and culture grants really did very much to create jobs. The thinking was that arts and culture perhaps is focused too much on bringing in tourists, and is that something that we necessarily want to be doing in the growing economy? Well, this is how our group felt. I welcome comments afterwards. In terms of performance and value ranking, while they found it to be valuable, the consensus of the group was that they really wanted to make sure I captured that they were pretty dissatisfied with the performance across the board of all of the services within a growing economy. And the main reason for that was they feel that the issue is in career services, basically. They want more jobs for city residents. They feel like there's too much focus on the inner harbor and on neighborhoods that don't need the assistance, and not enough focus on neighborhoods that really need the help. So we went very rogue. We basically disregarded this, and what we did was, at Lewis's suggestion, we looked at the overall budget, the overall amount of money that the city gives to the art and culture grants, and that is about $8.5 million, and we cut that in half. So we cut the art and culture grants awards, which supports the art museums, BOPA, Performing Arts Organization, the zoo. We cut that down to $4.25 million. We only needed to come up with a cut of $1.25 million, so that actually gave us $3 million that we could invest. Our group decided that we wanted to invest that money specifically in career services. There were some ideas about apprenticeship programs where we could give training to city residents and then offer contractor subsidies to hire city residents who were trained through these programs. We also thought that the development programs offered by career services, those programs that teach residents essential skills, that the residents who are taking those services should be paid for their time, because there's a lack of incentive for them to take those courses because they can't give up the time, or they don't have a babysitter, or they can't get there, or for whatever reason they should be paid so that they can actually take those needed training. We also wanted to see job training and recreation centers, more of them, just in general, especially in areas that actually need them, and linking with the urban decay plan. So the idea that rather than just giving us green space or open space as part of this investment plan, actually creating more recreation centers. We also said that we wanted to invest the money in economic development activities, in particular the micro-loan programs for small businesses. I hope that I have done, that I've captured everything that was said. There was quite a lot of discussion. If there are any questions, I'd be happy to.
Any questions or comments for the team?
Yes.
Why not just cut the arts and culture, because it would actually save a lot of money if you put that money towards something else.
So the reason,
if it's not creating jobs, what's the point of us having it?
so I can give the perspective of our
What's the point
table.
of us having it?
So the reason that we didn't want to cut it completely was because the one organization that everybody at the table seemed to really appreciate was FOPA. And that's because it was the only arts and culture grantee that actually demonstrates an effort to get out into the community, especially for women and minorities, to actually employ them and encourage more participation in the arts. I know that you have some background in sort of arts and cultural works. So that, to the table, seems to be the most meaningful, pretty much the only entity within arts and culture that was meaningful. I know it's like...
Okay, my name is Leona Berryville. Good evening, everybody. Basically, I think we should keep it, but give a lot of people a chance to get out there and put theirs out there. You understand what I'm saying? Because if we don't know how we're gonna do it, you know. And two, ability of teaching and learning is ability, but it's here nor there, you know, because they have to want to be creative, you know, and they got to want to feel the creation. But I don't think we should just automatically just like throw it out there, you know, because a lot of people have art, but they're afraid to stick out there, you know. So look at that, and the service as far as the people in the community, they gotta want to do that as well. So I say stick and stay and just keep teaching. The more we teach it, the more we keep going and don't give up, it's gonna be hard. And it's not, I mean, based on the money part, but okay, but it's there. But if we need to, we teach them how to learn. You know, that's it.
Yes.
But we felt that arts and culture gets streams of money from other areas, foundations and things of that nature. A lot of these programs depend completely on city funds.
Right.
So we felt that we could cut them in half and they would make that up in other areas of,
Okay.
of income streams.
This sounds good too.
So what's the, arts and culture is getting 8.5. What about education? What about, mental stability? DNA's information is actually channeled through from our ancestors on down to us. So what about like mental stability? What about economics? Teaching us. I used to be a drug dealer. I didn't know where to put my money. So how about teaching people how to bank, invest into things? We have the money. We already doing things like Wall Street. So why not teach us a better way instead of down?
I don't know if another table had that concern or not.
But if I could, that's exactly what we did. When we decided to cut the multi-million-dollar arts and culture community downtown Baltimore by $4 million, we decided to take 50% of that money and put it into career services, which is what you're talking about. So we had to take the money from one place to get to another place. Yeah. Yeah.
That's,
Exactly.
there's a health group that covers
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I was saying. That's
And
not
I know
out.
I saw Kim's hand, Chris, or I'm sorry.
I was just gonna offer that one of the things that our group did was say that the money that is being spent is not necessarily being spent the way we would like to see it spent. And so we asked in a couple of instances, we're gonna cut your money till you come tell us how you're spending the money, because we don't think it's being spent well, right? And so more increased accountability in the way money is spent, and then increased transparency in telling us how. And so I would like to see, especially in the instance over here, we had funding going to the state's attorney, to the sheriff's department, and to the circuit court. Now, they don't tell us jack about how they're spending that money, and I think that's completely irresponsible and unfair. And we said, cut it until you tell us.
I'm really actually glad that you called that out. That was something that our table said. I have 3 quotes written down here, and one of them is this the best use of city funds? How is the community informed? And do these performance measures actually mean something? Are we measuring the right thing?
We
So
can't write
we
them
felt the
checks
same way.
and they don't tell us how to spend it out.
Exactly. Thank you. Good call out.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I mean, if you're talking about arts and culture funding in terms of economic return, it's probably never gonna live up to that. I mean, I think arts and culture is oftentimes about creating the type of city we want and the type of people that we want to stay around and creating whole human beings. I mean, arts programs in schools, having art and culture is an important part of a civilization, part of cities.
But that money does go to schools.
So I think it's just misidentified in this instance as arts and culture for economic growth. Yeah, probably not a great idea. Arts and culture should be somewhere else.
It's a difficult placement. I mean,
Yeah.
that's where it's placed
Yeah,
right
it's
now,
not
but I
ideal.
hear that argument quite often from the arts grantees that perhaps they're better fit in stronger neighborhoods or somewhere else.
Amen.
The great comments.
Yeah.